What's going on, everyone? Cannabis Express 420 here. Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick announcement and a shout out. Now, I have been partnering with Spider Farmer for a while, and you can use that coupon code down below to get a good deal. But recently, I have also partnered with another company, and they're a competitor, but they also put out very good products called Mars Hydro. You might have heard of them. They're kind of high key in the growing business. So if you want to save a little bit of money at checkout, get some Mars Hydro gear, dude. Go down in the description below, hit that link, follow it, and save some money at checkout. Now, enjoy the savings. Now, we're going to be talking about my number one strategy for going into flower for maximum results. So going into flower, we have a lot of things changing in the plant. It's going to go into a stretch. It's going to be putting on that medication that we all know and love. It's going to be making buds, and hopefully those buds will blow our minds. But how are we going to get from point A all the way to point B? There are some things that I'm going to be doing going into the future that are hopefully going to give my plants a better go at the flower stage, and a couple things I've been doing for years that have been giving my plants good odds of going into the flower stage. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Flower stage transition starts everything in the veg stage. Everything starts in the veg stage. Now, obviously you want your plants to be healthy and strong, but how are you going to get them strong? We all know how to get them healthy. Make sure there's no nutrient problems. Make sure they're not suffering from light burn, any wind damage, anything like that. They are healthy. Now let's get them strong and ready to pack on as much bud as possible. Well, this is going to start actually mid to late veg stage, where you are going to be taking growth off of the bottom of the plant. I like to do this all through the veg stage. After years and many plants being grown, I can kind of tell a lot of what would be wasted potential on a veg plant. Anything that's not getting a lot of sunlight, anything that's kind of crowding the inside of the plant or the bottom of the plant needs to be removed. It's simply taking energy away from the top, and this will also probably shorten your veg stage slightly and also give you a bigger plant overall with the same amount of time, because you're not wasting energy on the bottom of the plant. You're instead sending it to the top. So I would be mainlining and also lollipopping kind of a few times throughout the veg stage. I would probably go if you're doing a 2-month veg, I would probably go week 3 of veg, start taking a little bit off, and then go into week 6 and start taking things off, and then finally take the last bit of things off at the end of week 7. That's going to give you the best odds, and then at the end of week 8, you will have a plant that is not only removed of the things that are going to sap its energy away from it, you also have given it an entire week to replenish and heal and make sure you're giving it the best odds going into the stretch. And why do you want to remove all of this wasted energy before you get into the flower stage? To give your plant the best odds of getting the best stretch it can out of its genetics. Obviously, there are some things you can do to counteract this. If you have a plant that you don't want to stretch a lot, you can lollipop closer to flower or even during the stretching stage. However, in most circumstances, I would not recommend that, because then, in my opinion, you are taking away from the stretch, taking away from the nodal spacing, and you're also taking away from the yield overall. So I would be very wary doing any lollipopping or high stress training in general in the flower stage. I'm going to be doing, actually on this row, is I'm going to be experimenting with changing up the nutrient regimen a little bit. I was reading an article when I went live the last time. By the way, if you're not chasing my lives and checking those out, you really should. Hit subscribe, get the notifications every time I go live. It's normally pretty early in the morning after work, and we go over some pretty good information, and if you've been seeing the polls, you can vote on what you want to see during those live streams. I try to be very transparent and also give you guys what you want at the same time as giving myself something I'm interested in to learn about. But we were reading this article, and it was going over the nutrient regimen and how you should actually transfer your plant from the veg stage to the flower stage. And what it recommended was actually feeding the plant veg nutrients until you start seeing bud sites indicating that your plant is currently flowering and that it's going to need different nutrients that it wouldn't otherwise have if you switch the nutrients right away. Why exactly do you need the veg nutrients? Well, the logic kind of pans out like you need more nitrogen to get a quality stretch so you can have a quality plant and flower. And it seems what I've been doing is starving my plant of nitrogen for 2 to 3 weeks before I see bud sites, and then eliminating a little bit of that growth, eliminating a little bit of that stretch, and not getting as much out of the plant as I possibly could. Now, could it all be bullshit? It's definitely possible, but the logic definitely stands, and the article laid it out pretty well to the point where I actually think it might be a good idea. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a try on this run of 6 indoor plants and see how that goes. And if you want to follow that documented journey, definitely hit the subscribe button down below, get those notifications up. I'm going to be showing the plants on here, but now that I'm monetized, it's going to be very difficult to do it consistently. So we got to keep that in mind too. Another thing when it goes into growing a good flower plant is you're going to want to make sure that that plant is able to hold up the weight. So you're going to want to do the low stress training in the veg stage consistently as possible, rolling those stems every single day in your fingertips to break up that membrane inside the plant to have it heal back stronger, giving it the force to actually hold up buds. But you're also going to want to add this to tying it to actual bamboo stakes or to your light as an anchor, something like that, so it can hold up extra weight and pack on as much as possible. This is not only going to give you a higher yield, but it's also going to make sure your plants don't topple over and break under their own weight. That's not normally something plants want to do. They normally want to survive until they are fully mature and can die peacefully and have their seeds grow. So anything you can do to help the plant is definitely going to not only add on yield, but also make sure that plant survives throughout the entire flower stage. So I would definitely invest in either a trellis net, ties to tie onto your light, or bamboo stakes to tie onto your plant's branches to then give it a better chance of yielding. And I've had plants, plant clones that have actually ballooned up about 4 times the bud size of their mothers even by using that technique. So it seems like it would be a good idea to do every single time. Make sure they have that support for a myriad of reasons. And pretty much other than having quality equipment, humidifier, dehumidifier, a good quality light, great airflow, you're going to want to make sure that everything is on tip-top shape with your environment, other than the conditions you need to put your plant in. But I think it's very important to focus on what your plant's going to be doing and how it's going to react to all of the changes you're going to be making in your garden once you flip that light to 12 on 12. It's a very critical point in that plant's life, and you do not want to spend all this time and all this money in a plant and then have it end up unfavorably. So I hope these tips help. I hope you can get more out of your garden, and I hope you have a fantastic day. If you got value out of this video, please leave a like, and if you have not yet, hit subscribe and go check out spider-farmer.com and also mars-hydro.com/cannabisexpress420. Use the coupon code or link in the description below to save on those products. Make sure your plants have the best, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much.